Mark Richard Hunt is a New Zealand mixed martial artist and former kickboxer of Samoan descent, currently living in Sydney, Australia. Hunt competes in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and was also the winner of the 2001 K-1 World Grand Prix. As of October 6, 2014, he is number 4 in official UFC Heavyweight rankings, not counting the champion. Background: Hunt was born in Auckland, into a large Samoan family, and was a troubled child, eventually leading to 2 jail terms for violent offending. He had no intention to be a professional fighter until a late-night altercation outside a nightclub just after getting out of jail for the second time in Auckland changed the course of his life. The brawl did not last long, and Hunt knocked out multiple people. Sam Masters, one of the bouncers at the door, was impressed by the young man's knockout power and invited him to his gym to take up formal training, and a week later, Hunt won a Muay Thai kickboxing match via knockout. Hunt received a 6-pack of beer as a reward for the fight. Later that year Hunt moved to Sydney, Australia, to train with Alex Tui, and few years later he settled in Liverpool kickboxing gym under Maori instructor Hayden Garanoa. Career: K-1 career. In the beginning of his career, Hunt was used by the promoters as a stepping stone for their up-and-coming fighters, taking up fights at short notice, until Tarek Solak promoted K-1 Oceania tournament in February 2000. With a record of, Hunt entered his first K-1 tournament as a heavy underdog. He won the K-1 Oceania title by knocking out the Coconut Crusher Omi Taji in quarterfinals, Roni Sifo in semis and Phil Fagan in the finals. After this impressive performance he was invited to Japan for K-1 qualifications. He lost his first international fight by unanimous decision against JAR copyright Rami Labana. In 2001, Hunt returned to K-1 by winning the K-1 Oceania tournament for the second consecutive year. After that he took part of K-1 World GP 2001 in Melbourne, where he beat Japanese boxer Hiromi Yamada, before suffering a close unanimous decision loss to reigning champion Ernesto Hoost. However, because of his exciting fighting style, Hunt was granted a wildcard spot in the repechage tournament for the K-1 World GP 2001 finals, when Mirko Filipovic had to pull out due to injury. He was drawn against Ray Sifo, who won the bout by outpointing Hunt. After the fight, however, Sifo suffered knee injury and was not able to continue, allowing Hunt to proceed in his place. Hunt then TKO'd Adam Watt to earn his place in the K-1 World Grand Prix finals at the Tokyo Dome. During the matchmaking for the K-1 finals, Hunt surprised the crowd by choosing JAR copyright Rami Labana, whom he had just lost in the previous year, as his quarter-final opponent. Hunt won the rematch by knocking out Labana in the second round and advanced himself onto the semi-finals facing Stefan Lecco. Hunt knocked down Lecco 2 times in the first round and went on to win the fight by unanimous decision. The stage was set for the final battle against Brazilian Kyokushin karate champion Francisco Filho. In the final, Hunt defeated Filho by unanimous decision to become the K-1 World Grand Prix 2001 champion. In 2002, Hunt went to Paris to fight Labana again for the third time, what turned out to be one of the biggest battles in K-1 history. Labana, fighting in front of his hometown audience, knocked down Hunt in the second round but was in turn knocked down himself a few seconds later. In the final moments of the round, Hunt was knocked down for the second time again by the powerful Frenchman. In between rounds the towel was thrown in as Hunt could not continue. On December 17, 2002, Mark Hunt returned to defend his K-1 World Grand Prix championship. In quarterfinals, entering the third round and behind on all scorecards, Mark was able to connect with a right cross that knocked out Stefan Lecco and advanced him to the semi-finals against his career-long nemesis Jerome Labana. Despite knocking down the Frenchman at the end of the third round, Hunt lost the fight by decision. It would to be his last K-1 World Grand Prix appearance. In April 2008, FEG announced Hunt's return to K-1 and nominated him as the challenger of K-1 Super Heavyweight Championship held by Semi Schilt. The match was held on April 13, 2008, in Yokohama, Japan at the K-1 World GP 2008 in Yokohama. Hunt lost the fight at the end of the first round by spinning back kick to the body. Mixed martial arts career. Pride Fighting Championship. Hunt's mixed martial arts career saw him fight in events in Japan's Pride Fighting Championships. His first MMA fight was a submission loss to Hidehiko Yoshida, an Olympic gold medalist in judo. In his second fight, he defeated American wrestler Dan Bobish by TKO. Hunt stepped in as a late replacement for Sakuraba, and won a split decision against an outweighed Pride middleweight champion Wanderlei Silva. Silva, renowned for his brutal punching and Muay Thai clinch game, was neutralized by the hard-hitting Samoan and knocked down several times in the fight. At the Pride Shockwave 2005 event, Hunt surprisingly defeated Mirko Cro Cop Filipovic via a split decision, after his earlier loss to him in K-1. At Pride 31, Unbreakable, Hunt defeated Japanese boxer Yosuke Nishijima in the third round with a powerful 1-2 punch. Hunt's next fight was in the opening round of Pride's 2006 Openweight Grand Prix on May 5, 2006. His opponent was Japan's Tsuyoshi Kosaka, who he defeated by TKO in the second round. He then faced American catch wrestler Josh Barnett at Pride Critical Countdown Absolute in the second round of the tournament. Hunt was immediately taken down by Barnett and ultimately lost to a Kimura submission roughly 2.5 minutes into the first round. Following that fight, Hunt next lost to Pride heavyweight champion Fedor Emelianenko at Pride Shockwave 2006. Hunt controlled Emelianenko most of the fight and even effectively countered an armor early in the bout. Hunt's greatest chance of winning came when he was able to put Emelianenko in an Americana. Unfortunately for Hunt, Emelianenko was able to fight through it and submit Hunt with a Kimura. Post-Pride, on July 21, 2008, more than a year after his last MMA fight, Hunt returned to MMA to face Alistair Overeem at Dream 5, and was submitted by an armlock in just over a minute into the first round. Hunt was set to fight Jerome Labana at Dynamite 2008 but ended up fighting late replacement Melvin Manhoef after Labana pulled out. Despite the fact that he had a substantial weight advantage over Manhoef, he was knocked out in 18 seconds in the first round. This marked the first time he had been stopped by knockout due to punches to the head. On May 26, 2009, Hunt fought former Dream middleweight champion Gegard Mousasi in the opening round of the Super Hulk Grand Prix at Dream 9. He lost by submission in the first round. Ultimate Fighting Championship. Hunt was transferred to the UFC as part of their acquisition of Pride Fighting Championships. The UFC offered to pay up Hunt's contract but Hunt elected to fight instead. Hunt made his UFC debut on September 25, 2010 at UFC 119 against fellow UFC newcomer and undefeated prospect Sean McCorkle. Hunt trained with American Top Team for the fight. Photos that had emerged on the internet had shown that Hunt had lost a considerable amount of weight in comparison to that of his Pride days. He was defeated via submission at 1:03 of the first round. Hunt's next fight in the UFC was against Chris Tuchera at UFC 127 on February 27 in Sydney, Australia. Hunt defeated Tuchera in the second round via KO, earning knockout of the night, also snapping his 6-fight losing streak and giving him his first victory in nearly 5 years. Hunt followed this performance with a decision win over Ben Rothwell at UFC 135 on September 24, 2011. Hunt next faced Chi Kongo on February 26, 2012 at UFC 144. Hunt won the fight via TKO due to punches, at 2:11 of the first round. Hunt was expected to face Stefan Struve on May 26, 2012 at UFC 146. However, he pulled out of the bout due to injury 10 days prior to the event. The bout with Struve was rescheduled for March 3, 2013 at UFC on Fuel TV 8. Hunt defeated Struve via third-round TKO, after dropping him to the floor by a huge left hook that also broke Struve's jaw, earning knockout of the night honors. Hunt faced Junior Dos Santos on May 25, 2013 at UFC 160, replacing an injured Alistair Overeem. Hunt lost the fight via knockout in the third round in a bout that earned both participants Fight of the Night honors. Afterwards, some major MMA media outlets was considering this to be the best fight in the history of the UFC heavyweight division. Hunt faced Antonio Silva in the main event on December 7, 2013 at UFC Fight Night 33. The fight went to a decision, with one judge scoring it 48-47 for Hunt while the other two had the scores even, 47-47, resulting in a majority draw. Post-fight, Dana White stated that the bout won fight of the night and, despite the draw result, both men would receive their win bonuses. The bout with Silva was called one of the best in heavyweight history. In addition to winning a $50,000 fight of the night bonus, Hunt won an extra $50,000 bonus originally meant for Silva due to Silva failing his post-fight drug test, giving Hunt total of $100,000 from the fight of the night bonus award. For Hunt, the bout is still a draw on his official record, while in Silva's case it was overturned to a no contest. Contract dispute. On August 5, 2014, Hunt posted cryptic tweets about becoming unemployed, which Dana White immediately denied. At first, Hunt blamed his tweets on hunger, but later in mid-August he revealed that he had decided to walk away from the sport due to business reasons. Hunt originally wanted a 3-fight contract while the UFC wanted an 8-fight contract. After Hunt's decision to walk away, his wife talked him around and he ended up with a 6-fight contract with the organization. At the end of August 2014, Hunt revealed that the contract will be the last of his mixed martial arts career. Continuation in UFC, Hunt faced Roy Nelson on September 20, 2014 at UFC Fight Night 52. He won the fight by knockout in the second round. The win also earned Hunt his first performance of the night bonus award. On October 21, 2014, it was announced that Hunt will replace injured UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez and will fight against Fabricio Werdum at UFC 180 for the interim UFC heavyweight championship. Television and film, Hunt is the subject of a feature-length documentary The Art of Fighting, which premiered on Fuel TV on May 22, 2013. Personal life, Hunt was born a Mormon, but is now a born-again Christian. He lives in Australia with his second wife and has 6 children. The first 2 children from his first marriage are already adults. Hunt and his second wife, Julie, met in a reggae club around 1994 and have 4 children. Championships and accomplishments, kickboxing, K-1, 2002 K-1 World Grand Prix Final 3rd place, 2001 K-1 World Grand Prix Champion, 2001 K-1 World Grand Prix in Fukuoka Repechage B Champion, 2001 K-1 World Grand Prix Preliminary Melbourne Champion, 2000 K-1 Oceania Grand Prix Champion. World Kickboxing Federation, 1999 WKBF Australian Super Heavyweight Champion. Mixed Martial Arts, Ultimate Fighting Championship, Knockout of the Night vs Chris Tuchera and Stefan Struve. Fight of the Night vs Junior Dos Santos and Antonio Silva, Performance of the Night vs Roy Nelson. Sherdog, 2014 All Violence 3rd Team. Fight Matrix, 2004 Rookie of the Year, 2004 Most Noteworthy Upset of the Year vs Wanderlei Silva on December 31, 2004 Most Lopsided Upset of the Year vs Wanderlei Silva on December 31. Mixed Martial Arts Record, Kickboxing Record, Professional Boxing Record. See also, List of male kickboxers, List of male mixed martial artists, List of K-1 events, List of Pride events, List of K-1 champions. References. External links, Official UFC profile.